Hi, welcome to Conversations with a Wounded Healer. I'm your host, Sarah Buino. If I sound a little bit more somber today than usual, it's because I am talking about something that is not fun. If you're listening right now in March of 2020, we are in the midst of a pandemic called the coronavirus, and I wanted to do a special bonus episode to talk about the fear, anxiety, and uncertainty of this time and how we can help ourselves and help one another get through this. So one of the first things I did today is I pulled some cards in my meditation time. And I always pull tarot cards every day, but I also pulled an oracle card. And the oracle card is from the Wild Offering Oracle by Tosha Silver. And it says, confidence. Divine confidence is completely different from the bravado of the ego. You make space for something larger to take hold. Please fill me with your confidence, O love. Grant me courage that I never knew I had. And then for the tarot cards, I may have mentioned before, I use the Crystal Unicorn Tarot by Pamela Chen. And this deck is usually actually quite funny the way that it communicates with me. And so when I ask the question, what is it that we need in order to move through this pandemic, this issue with the coronavirus, the card that I picked was the Two of Pentacles. Now, if you're familiar with the Rider-Waite-Smith tarot deck, you'll know it's kind of a jester character, and they are kind of balancing two coins within an infinity symbol. And for the Unicorn Crystal Tarot deck, it's a unicorn that's balancing this infinity symbol on their back. And the meaning of this card is generally flexibility. So putting these two together, what do we need in order to move through this to come out on the other side feeling connected and feeling okay? I love the idea of needing confidence and flexibility, right? We need flexibility in order to transition, in order to do things differently, right? We are being called to stay in our homes, many of us, and we're being called to make major changes in our life right now. And so we need flexibility in order to do that. Some of us have access to more privilege and so have the opportunity for more flexibility than others. And so I'm hoping that we can also utilize our flexibility in lending support to other people who don't have the same access to, let's say, working from home or medical care. And then confidence, I love the idea of thinking about confidence from this place of interconnectedness to something greater than ourselves, right? And I would, dare I say the word faith, I would also think that this type of confidence really is connected to faith, that we can get through this. I've been freaking out about this lately, and I saw on the Today Show yesterday, one of their medical experts said, we have to remember that this is temporary. And as soon as I heard that, there was something in me that took a breath and was able to pause and stop freaking out for just a moment. So I'm hoping for everyone listening to this that we're able to adopt flexibility and confidence in this time of crisis. I also wanted to share with you my personal experience of being a business owner and what I've been thinking about as this crisis seems to be becoming more and more urgent and more difficult. So one of the first things that came to mind for me is, how are my staff going to maintain their income during this time? We, in my practice, Head Heart Therapy, probably I'd say 90% of our clientele use their insurance. And for the most part, up until now, insurance companies haven't necessarily reimbursed for telehealth, which would be phone or virtual video sessions. And so my first thought was, how do I make sure that my staff are okay during this time? And then obviously really connected to that is, how are our clients going to get care when we're limited in the ways that we can provide service? And this part just made me think about how we have to advocate for insurance companies to cover services that are most accessible to folks. And virtual sessions and phone sessions need to be covered. So one thing I would ask of you is to call your insurance company and ask them to cover these services, not just during this time of coronavirus crisis, but during all times, because there are plenty of reasons why people would need to access telehealth in order to be able to maintain the same level of care that they would as if they came in person. So that's something you can do to help yourself and to help us moving past this coronavirus. Then my next thought is, what is my level of responsibility in terms of being a business owner and taking care of my staff and taking care of clients? And as soon as I ask that question, the thing that comes up for me is, who's going to help me? And I've realized in examining my reaction to everything that's going on, the lack of safety that I have been feeling in this is so familiar and feels like the lack of safety that I had in my childhood. And especially this question of who's going to help me. Whenever I ask that question, that's when I always double down the pressure on myself to take care of everything and everyone else and neglect my own needs. So when I recognized that, I had some decisions to make. I was supposed to go out of town for a business trip, and I was continuing to wait and hear what was going on in the news and see whether it was okay for me to continue to go on this trip or not. And I decided to cancel. I decided that the anxiety of becoming a carrier for this virus was too great because I would have no control over who I was meeting, who would be on that plane with me. And so I decided to cancel the trip. And that helped my anxiety. And then I reached out to my therapist. I had canceled our session because I was supposed to be out of town. So I reached out to her and just said, hey, I can come in anytime today. And she said, how about 4:00? And I was there on the dot. And I've also used an amazing group of other badass practice owners to kind of, use our collective knowledge and figure out how can we support each other instead of having us each do all these things individually, contacting insurance companies, figuring out what the billing codes are and all of that. So I'm just so grateful to have a bunch of amazing women in my life who are willing to share their knowledge and wisdom with me. So what can you do? I'm sure, like many folks, you may be wondering, what am I supposed to do right now? And I think that if we can focus on opportunities for connection and rest at this time, it's going to help with our collective anxiety. So a couple of tips I have for you. I've started really digging into loving kindness meditation again. It's something that I used to do as a regular practice and I'd gotten away from it. But I saw on Instagram, somebody said, when you're washing your hands, instead of singing happy birthday, how about recite the loving kindness meditation? Because that's about 20 seconds too. So if you're not familiar with the loving kindness meditation, it essentially is extending literally love and kindness to oneself and to all beings. And there are different ways that you can do it, but this is a way that I've been able to memorize and that I often do in my meditations. So you can say, may I be happy, may I be healthy, may I be safe, and may I be loved. And you just repeat that over and over to yourself throughout your meditation. And if you like to extend this outward, you can also change it to may all beings be happy, may all beings be healthy, may all beings be safe, may all beings be loved. So that's one thing you can do for yourself. At a time when so many meetings and events are being canceled, we could use this as a time to catch up on all the work that we haven't been able to get to, which truthfully is what I did today. But we can also allow ourselves some downtime to relax and feel into what we actually need in that moment, right? Sometimes doing extra work actually makes my anxiety go down because I'm getting something done and getting something off my plate that I don't have to worry about later. But sometimes what I really need is to take a bubble bath, or I really just need to watch something silly on TV, or I really just need to call a friend and connect with them. So see if you can sit with what is it that I really need right now and give yourself space to do that. And then finally, in terms of connection, use Marco Polo. Oh my God, it is the best app that I have ever found. It is so wonderful to be able to see people's faces and to hear their voices and to be able to connect with them in that way. So Marco Polo does not give me any money for advertising. I just advertise for them because it has truly changed my relationships in my life. So obviously you don't have to use the app Marco Polo, but you can certainly find a way to reach out and still stay connected to people, even though we might be isolating ourselves physically from people. We don't have to isolate ourselves emotionally. And then lastly, Conversations with a Wounded Healer has virtual community gatherings. And normally it is reserved for Patreon members. And Patreon members are people who actually, they pay as gratitude for this podcast. They pay a small monthly fee. And normally The community gatherings are reserved for them, but because we're in a time of crisis right now and we need more connection, I'm offering our next gathering to anyone who would like to participate. So the next gathering is going to be April 1st from 7 to 8 p.m. Central Time. And if you're not already a Patreon member, you'll need to give me your email address so that I can send you the link. And I've created a little survey monkey, and we will definitely post this in the show notes so that you're able to access. But the link is https://www.surveymonkey.com/lowercase r/uppercase S/P896. And again, that'll be posted in the show notes for you. All you have to do is let me know that you're interested in joining, and we're going to send you the link to participate in that virtual gathering. And as I said before, it's 100% open to anyone, so feel free to share that link widely. Thank you so much for being with me today. I hope that hearing my experience and hearing, some options for taking care of yourself and for connecting with others is soothing to you. May all beings be happy. May all beings be healthy. May all beings be safe. May all beings be loved. Thank you to Andrea Klunder and the Creative Imposter Studios for editing, to Liam O'Donnell for our album art, and to Ben Mueller for our theme music. To find more information about Conversations with a Wounded Healer, you can go to our website at www.headhearttherapy.com/podcast. Until next time, bye-bye.